Since the day humans looked upon the gods, they have wondered, can a god die? When Darkseid fell, there was a blinding red light, a deafening sound, the ground shook, and then all went quiet. And if a god can die, what happens next? The Justice League stands in the aftermath between two warring gods. The Anti-Monitor and his forces vanished soon after Darkseid's defeat. The Dark God is confirmed dead by Mr. Miracle's mother box, and a new god is born. Barry Allen can finally control his body, but things aren't exactly the same. Mr. Miracle explains how Darkseid captured death, or an aspect of it, when he first took control of Apokolips, but the Black Racer could only be communicated with by anchoring it to a sentient host. Somehow, the Anti-Monitor took control of the Black Racer and forced Barry Allen to bond with it. Once a host has been chosen, they're bound until they... I'm not like the other host, Barry Allen interrupts his ally, and I don't want to escape death. I want to control it. The Black Flash races off, leaving the Justice League behind to clean up the mess. With the wisdom of Solomon, Shazam suggests for Cyborg to track their Scarlet Speedster, but his head gets crowded with an influx of voices. I will not give my power to this boy,
He won't be my vessel. He will burn, like all the Martians.
The Force Wall will not stand for long.
Billy, listen to me. The new gods are calling you.
Cyborg's alien tech senses the many voices within Billy Batson. But it's too late. Shazam launches himself into the air, too fast for any of his allies to give chase. The Justice League is now without Superman, Batman, The Flash, and Shazam. They are 4 members down, and Caliban knows this. At last, he presents himself with the generals of Apokolips.
I wouldn't worry about them. You have problems of your own. Father is dead. So are you.
Apokolips. Superman is no longer himself, and he gave his nemesis a beating. His super hearing overheard the slave masters gossiping about the death of their ruler, Darkseid. He grabs hold of his old foe and rips his armor to shreds. The billionaire admits defeat. He admits that the Man of Steel could have ended him at any time. Of course I win. I'm Superman. According to Clark, Lex Luthor will not last the night, but if he does manage to survive, he is now banished from Earth. For if Luthor dares to return to their planet, Clark will make sure that his foe will end up like his armor, ripped to shreds. The Man of Steel grows bored of his toy and flies off, leaving Lex Luthor to fend for himself. This will not go well for the newest member of the Justice League. Elsewhere in the multiverse, the news of Darkseid's death has reached the Dark Knight. The war is over, and Batman can turn his attention back to what's important. With the Mobius chair, he can finally be the Batman that Gotham needs. Suddenly, Hal Jordan screams in agony as his ring emits a very familiar face. Batman informs his colleague that without their leader, the parademons are roaming free out there in the universe, and like the insects they are, they're drawn to a great place of power, the brightest light in the universe. Jordan can only think of one location that fits that description. Oa. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Grail and her mother watches on as the Anti-Monitor enters a cocoon state. He is changing. He is becoming Mobius. Back on Apokolips, a captured and weathered Lex Luthor is found and beaten by a small faction of rebels known as the Forgotten People. When asked what they want with him, the woman states that on this night of Darkseid's death, a human would walk through the ashes of their world. It was written that the human was a great hero from a place called Metropolis. He had saved his world many times. He is an orphan, a humble son of farmers, seeker of truth and the embodiment of justice. When asked if he is this man, Luthor replies, "Yes, I am." The tribe bows down to their savior, but the woman shows her disdain. "Why are you bowing down to him?" she states. "He hasn't earned it yet." She pulls her weapon and knocks a human out cold. Hours later, Luthor awakens strapped in place surrounded by alien tech. The woman he now knows as his jailer is present. She tells him that with Darkseid's death, the Omega Effect has been unleashed and it will return home to Apokolips. The Forsaken People will contain it, and they will use Luthor's flesh to do so. If the human is the worthy hero from their prophecy, then he will survive. If not, he will die. A flash of red light signals the return of the Omega Effect. Luthor feels fear. His knees begin to tremble. As the blinding red light comes ever so closer, the man from Earth cursed the world. Death has arrived. The light crashed upon his flesh, overloading every sense in his body. Fear turns to anger. Anger turns to darkness. Darkseid is dead. Long live Lex Luthor. Long live the God of Apokolips. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Comic Island. My name is Joey, and today we are reviewing and recapping the Justice League issue 45. Okay, so if you guys been following my comic recaps, then you will remember how much I disapprove of the change in art within one storyline. We got 4 issues with beautiful, consistent artwork. I praised this in my last Justice League coverage, but then now we got a radical change in art style. Now I do want to mention that this art style is perfectly fine, nothing is wrong with it. But the original artist Jason Fabak is gone and we got a new artist taking over. This takes me out of the story a slight bit, especially when I thought the art from issues 40 till 44 was superior to 45. But that's the biggest negative thing I can say about this issue. Besides that, I love where this story is going and we got a very good cliffhanger ending. But as always, let's go over a few other things before discussing the juicy ending. So, Barry Allen, the Flash, merged with the Black Racer, aka the embodiment of death. From what I understand, this is the first time we saw the Black Racer in the New 52, or DCU, according to DC's new branding. So, moving on. The Black Racer is pretty much like the Grim Reaper or the Avatar of Death. He travels around on skis and carries 2 scythes resembling ski poles. We don't know how Darkseid managed to capture the Black Racer, or how the Anti-Monitor managed to manipulate it to merge with Barry Allen, but it happened somehow, and Allen is considered to be a god now. And oh man, he's going through an attitude adjustment, much like Batman and Superman. And of course, you got the Black Flash with red outlined speech bubbles to highlight that. Oh, by the way, I love how they introduced Barry Allen as the god of death, Superman as the god of strength, Batman as the god of knowledge, and Shazam as the god of gods. And finally, we got Luthor as the god of Apokolips. That was presented in such an epic manner, and I loved it. So there is just one thing that confused me about this issue. When Batman told Jordan that the parademons are flocking towards the brightest light in the universe, Jordan believes that they are heading towards Oa. Wait. Even though I haven't been religiously following the Green Lantern comics, I remember Relic destroyed Oa after the wrath of the First Lantern and the rise of the Third Army. The Lanterns should be still using Mogo as their new HQ. Right now, I believe Hal Jordan left the Lanterns, grew long hair, and became an outlaw. So this statement confuses the heck out of me. Oa should still be in ruins, and if anything, shouldn't Jordan have long hair? As long as we're on this subject, didn't Superman lose his powers and Batman is believed to be gone with only the Bruce Wayne side still alive? Didn't the Red Lanterns earn the right to protect Sector 2814 after they helped the Green Lanterns defend against the Third Army? Damn, this continuity thing is confusing. Okay, so let's finish this off by discussing the big reveal at the end. So if anyone thought that Darkseid was faking his own death, this issue should throw those doubts out the window. And the ending tells us that Lex Luthor is the new god of Apokolips. I love this twist, mainly because it now adds a new dynamic to the rivalry between Superman and Luthor. There has been a ton of friction with Superman and Lex Luthor ever since he joined the Justice League, and as far as I can tell, he's a good guy. He hasn't done anything wrong ever since Forever Evil, and Superman is seriously irked because of it. And then Superman goes Darkseid and gives Luthor a beating. Then he leaves Luthor to die. That's pretty cold. Lex Luthor has a right to be pissed, so he does what any pissed off guy would do, and he pretends to be the hero of the prophecy. Obviously, things went south when he was captured and beaten, but then he gets gifted with Darkseid's Omega powers. So let's recap. We got a dark Superman high on apocalyptic pit radiation and his nemesis Lex Luthor with, what I believe, the powers of Darkseid. We know Superman will return to the status quo, but what about Luthor? He's been quote-unquote a good guy since Forever Evil, so it's going to be exciting to see if he continues the hero streak or will he finally return to his villain role. I honestly hope he would use his powers for good, with a sprinkle of evil. And I want to see Luthor give Superman a beating. Wow, I can't believe I just said that. Okay, but I want to hear from you. What do you think about this issue? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching my review of the Justice League issue 45. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time in the Justice League issue 46.